Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be replacing the front brakes on your 2019 Hyundai Kona 2-liter all-wheel drive. So let's get started. But this brake job is going to be very similar to a lot of Hyundai and Kia products. Alright, first step, we're going to take off the wheel. These are 21mm. Alright, now let's start by removing the caliper. It's held on by two 14mm bolts. So one here, one here. Let's go ahead and take those off. Okay, two bolts. Alright, now we can go ahead and remove the caliper. If it's really stuck, use a small pry bar to pry it out. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and compress the caliper piston. So you could use big channel locks for these, or you could use the compression tool. It should compress nice and easy. If you feel that it's binding, you might need a new caliper since the piston might be seized. Okay, now it's all the way retracted. So now we're going to just hang it on the strut to leave it aside. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and clean the guide pins and add some new grease. So take off the guide pins. So what I'm going to be putting is going to be the Easy Slide lubricant for brakes, synthetic dielectric grease. Alright, so you don't need much, just cover the whole surface area of the guide pin and you should be good to go. Alright, there's number one. Alright, that's the second one. Alright, now we're going to take off these brake pads springs. Alright, so leave those aside. We might need to reuse them. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and take off the caliper bracket from the two bolts back here. These are 17. Alright, two bolts. Now the caliper bracket is ready to come off. Now we can take off the old brake pads. And then we can take off the old clips. Alright, so the next step is going to be an important step. We're going to go ahead and clean off all the rust and the brake dust that's on the caliper bracket. So we're going to clean it with a wire brush and also a file. So you want to make sure all this surface area is clean. So when we go ahead and put the new brake pads on, they're going to go in nice and smoothly. Alright, what I like to do is pass the file in the corners. Alright, so it should look like this when you're done, nice and clean. Make sure you expose most of the metal. Doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as most of the chunks of rust is gone, you should be good to go. Alright, now let's go ahead and put the new clips on. But first we're going to just add a bit of anti-seize. You could put copper anti-seize or aluminum. They both work fine. Alright, now get your new clips. Okay, so depending on the aftermarket brakes you bought, some of these clips might not fit well. So I suggest to use the OEM clips. I've noticed it's always a problem with Hyundai and Kia products where the clips don't always fit as well. So if you're running into issues, just reuse the old ones and yeah, go from there. Okay, so make sure they sit flush. These fit not as bad as I thought. But if I do end up running into problems with these, I might just put back the old ones. But for now, they look like they fit good. Now the second one. All right, second one, sitting flush. All right, and also keep the new springs because we're gonna be putting them on the new pads. All right, now we could go ahead and install the new pads. So we're gonna start with the ears. Okay, there's one. Okay, there's the second one. Right, so you shouldn't have to force them in. They should go in easily. If you notice that they're not going in easily and you have to force them in, so go back, take off those clips, and then go back and clean again with the wire brush. There's probably still some rust left over on the caliper bracket, so that's why they're not going in as smoothly. And if they are going in smoothly, then that's a sign that you've cleaned the caliper bracket well enough. All right, so now that these are ready, we're gonna go ahead and put them aside, and then let's attack the rotor. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and take off the rotor. They're held on by 2 Phillips head screw here. So what we're gonna use is a Phillips 3 to take those off. Make sure you use a Phillips 3. If these are seized and you're gonna use a Phillips 2, you're gonna strip the head. So this is very important. Make sure you use Phillips 3 because that's gonna be the one to grip it nicely. So here we go. There's one. There's the second one. Now the rotor should come off. Okay, so it's not moving, so we're just gonna hit it with a sledgehammer. So just strike it here on the bottom with a sledgehammer and it should be free. Okay, yeah, be careful of that. Make sure the caliper doesn't fall. Okay, now that the rotor is free, it should come out. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and clean off this hub surface area. So to make sure that the rotor is sitting correctly and also that the wheel is sitting flush on this hub here. So once again, we're gonna use the wire brush. All right, now that the hub surface is clean, we're gonna go ahead and put some anti-seize. And make sure you get around the hub. All right, now we're ready to put on the new rotor. All right, make it a habit of always comparing your new parts with the old ones to make sure they fit. Rotor is good. Now we're gonna go ahead and install it. Now we could go ahead and put on the 2 Phillips head screw. All right, now we're gonna take our caliper bracket with the new brake pads and install it on the knuckle. Okay, now let's line them up. Let's hand tighten them with the wrench. All right. Okay, what I like to do is put just a bit more anti-seize on the back of the pads, just so that in the future, if you're going to service them, they're gonna come off easy and the caliper won't stick on it. And now we're gonna go ahead and put the new clips, sorry, the new springs. They go on the top of the holes here. So one here, one over here. Now make sure you hold the brake pads while doing this because they will tend to want to fly off. Now for the bottom one. Okay, like so. Now keep holding on the brake pads until we bring the caliper and install it. So you're gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to do this two-handed, right? like so. Now we could go ahead and put back the two 14mm bolts that hold the caliper. Okay, and then just go hand tight on these. So quarter turn should be good enough. And that's it, we're all done. All right, all that's left is when you're done doing your front brakes or rear brakes or the brakes all around, make sure you go ahead and press the brake pedal a few times before going for a drive. Since we retracted the caliper piston, they're not going to be sitting on the pads right away. So that's why you have to make sure that you pump the brake pedal a few times before going for a drive. Or else if you back up right away, you won't have any brake pedal response until a few pumps later. And that can be dangerous, so make sure you do that. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any comments or question, leave in the comments below. I'll be happy to help you out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.